Welcome to IBM Partner Skills. Like, share, and subscribe channel.
To set up is like first part will be like we have to set up our VAS. So when we are setting up our VAS, so the package that I'll use is ND package. Version I'll use is 8.5.5, and then I'll apply fix pack. So the fix pack that I'm having is 7. Once this is done, so like basic you have basic VAS package installed. So now you will start using it. So then we'll talk about okay, what is profiles, and once profiles concept is understood, we'll create profiles like sorry, DMGR profile and custom profiles. So which will be kind of like so many people say it's a base profiles, somebody says it's a node profile. So I'll say it's a custom profile which will be used by, I'll use manage template for that. So once this is done, I'll talk about federation, and then we'll try to add node to DMGR. Once that is done, I'll talk about what is sync and full resync concept, and what happens between this, like what's the difference between among these, like can I create a local file in my custom node, and will DMGR be aware of that, and what's the disadvantage of creating something in local rather than going from DMGR. So all those concepts we'll talk about, and then we'll talk about clusters. We'll try to create clusters, and then and app servers will be created as a member of clusters, and then we'll talk about app server tuning. So this will be like one part of the course, first part of the course. So how much ever time it takes, maybe it will take 5 to 6 classes. So how much ever time it will take, first setup will be was will and we'll try to set up all this, and all this setup will be done. Prerequisite will be like we'll do one workstation setup. On workstation we'll have Linux installed. So the Linux I'm having is from CentOS. So CentOS. So what I'll do, this will be a like prerequisite, and then we should have IBM installation manager. So these three things will be the prerequisite before we start doing installation. So these three packages, what I have done, I have uploaded on the Google Drive, and post this class, I'll put a SMS to SVR. SVR will share with you guys. So only this Linux CentOS OS, I'll give you the link to download because it's around a 4.5 GB file. So uploading and downloading it's a very difficult from drive, rather than you can I will directly give you the link from where you can quickly download it. So so this is the link from where you have to download it. This is the version that you have to download it. So I'll assume that everyone is having a 64-bit laptop. So assuming that all the packages that I have been using is a 64-bit package. So make sure that everyone is having a 64-bit support laptop. So this will be the prerequisite that we'll use, and I'll share these installables, and by EOD I'll share the steps also to install this, like if you like how you have to install workstation, and then how you have to create an image of Linux on this workstation. All those steps with a screenshot I'll share. Once this setup is done, you have to start using installation manager, and then this all setup will be done. Once this is done, then we'll talk about like IHS and plugin setup with their fix pack, and then we'll create actual web servers. Then we'll configure plugin to connect to step one's app server. Like we have created a built-in app server, right? So once IHS and plugin is installed, we'll apply the fix pack, and then we'll talk about how to create a running web server instances, and how this web server instances will know where is my plugin. So that connectivity will do. We'll talk about how to make sure that how my web server configuration file http.conf knows where is my plugin, and then I'll configure plugin hyphen cfg.xml file, that how my plugin then knows where is my target was or target cluster. So based on we'll do all those connectivity. We'll understand like how this connectivity works, what all configuration you have to do in all these files, and then how request lands to the cluster. So once this is done, so all this setup is done, then slowly we'll come to app deployment. And once the app deployment is done, then we'll try to access the URLs and we'll start checking. Okay, fine. I have a setup with IHS plugin and was so I have web server. I know a plugin who sends the request from web server to us, and then we have an application deployed on top of clusters and web server as a group, and then we'll try to access these URLs and see if the traffic is landing to these guys, and we'll see how this works. And based on and during this, we'll do all kind of troubleshooting also. Whenever I'm doing something, I'll make sure that I'll let you know what mistakes you can make and how to uh, check those mistakes, where to check those mistakes, like what I was saying, like we'll talk about all the configuration files involved, all the logs file involved. So this will be the kind of outline of the course. So coming back to then the VAS setup, as I was saying, these files I'll share with you. So how actually you have to do. So I have another notes ready for you guys. Fine. So, anyways, workstation and CentOS, I will be sending you the screenshots with the steps. If you still somebody faces issue, then what I can do, because I have already those things set up in my laptop. So if still somebody feels like it's causing issues for us, we are getting confused with the steps, I can easily uninstall my setup, and then I can show you how to do these things. So this is VMware workstation running with CentOS 7 64-bit. So the kind of UI will look like this when you launch this OS, and it has some application links on top left corner. So from where you can access one of the browser Firefox, and this will be used for launching our VAS admin console. Then we are having a terminal launch facility, and the basic facility that we are having, that we can access all the file paths as we use in Windows. You can just click it and access it. So it's a little slow. And most crucial part, how to copy files from local to that particular OS. So the easiness of using CentOS is that you can simply copy some file from your desktop. Let's say if slow is now, so let's skip this. It's like some simply you have to copy from your desktop. Let's say I copied here. Just go to your CentOS, and in some directory you can directly go and paste, so your file will be here. So this makes your life easy. Whichever file you have to start copying, so just copy from your local, come paste it here. So there is no file transfer tool being used like FileZilla or WinSAP or anything. It's easy to use. So this setup will make sure that everybody is having before we go ahead with the class. Second thing, I'll walk you through the all the packages that I'm having. So these are the installables that we are going to use. So WAS ND, so there are three packages inside it, and then WAS fix pack is there. Like that, we will have JDK 7 installed on top of the default JDK 6, and we'll talk about how we can switch between these two JDKs and why it's important. Sometimes what happens, you are running with JDK 6 by default, WAS 8 gives you JDK 6 facility, and fine. So all the codes the developer will give you should be on a JDK 6 build code, but there are lots of requirement from the developers that okay, this applicant package we have developed using JDK 7, so those packages was cannot host completely. So what came new from WAS 8 or 8.5, that they support multiple JDKs. So on top of default JDK 6, you can have your WAS provided JDK 7 or JDK 8, and you can apply that, you can install that, and then there are some means from where you can make sure that which app server uses JDK 6, which app server uses JDK 7. So we'll talk about all that once our setup is ready, but we'll make sure that we apply JDK 7 also as part of setup. This is the installation manager. So uh, before you do all that, you have to use this, and then these three packages is our first target. Like first we'll try to set up this was setup. Once we are done, then we'll come back here, we'll set up these IHS plugin and fixpack. Once this is also done, we'll talk about this and we'll start doing the deployments. Now, how to use these packages. So this is the basic one first class. So that's why I'm going walking you through all the theories, so that next class when I'm doing something in practical, you guys knows that okay, what is the theory behind it, and you guys know that okay, there is some reference notes ready to me, so you can focus on practicals rather than being confused. So here I have done like a basic bullet points kind of notes that I'll be sharing with you shared four installables in four folders. So what are those four folders? These four folders I'll share with you. So these four folders I'll share with you as first part of setup. So this once you have these downloaded in your system, then how to use those. So first is the installation manager. So installation manager is like thin client. So it's like you need not to install it. Only thing you have to do is like JBoss if Gayatri knows. So it's like you have to just unzip it. It contains one zip file, and you have to copy from it to Linux server in some directory. So let's say you created a directory in your home called IAM. So you copy it from your local. You just right click copy in your local. Go back to IAM, right click paste. So it will come there, and then you go to terminal. I'll tell you once all those settings like how to. Anyways, so you have to go to terminal like this. So terminal link is here, and once you go to terminal, you have to sudo to root user. So I'll assume that that basic was Unix knowledge everybody is having. So you'll go to root user, and then you have to just click unzip. I've written that command also. So unzip your this file. So this is base trial agent installer. So this is first thing is this is a trial package, fine, and this is an installer for Linux 64-bit. So make sure that everybody is having a 64-bit laptop. That's why I'm saying. Otherwise, when you try to install it, it will fail. That I didn't find a correct processor. So once this is done, only one thing that we have to modify. Like once I'm not asking you guys to just go through the notes and do it yourself. I'll be doing these all things in front of you. I'm just making sure this is a first class, so I'm not bombarding with you with everything. I'm giving you basic theory also. So modified, there is a basic install.xml file inside this zip. So and that has two tags, server tag and install tag. So we have to delete all the contents under this tab. Why? So because it's a default install.xml file, it under server tag it tries to connect to like default like some of the IBM sites from where it can download the installables. So all that browser link is present in server, and in install tag, all this package information is there, which it will try to download. So what this installation manager in first step thinks that you do not have any installables downloaded and ready for you. So when you launch me, I'll give you the link of IBM from where you can go and download that. So we did all that already, so we have the setup ready, locally copied also, unzipped also. So we'll say oh no, I do not want you to do anything, so I'll delete every content inside the server tag, every content inside the install tag, and save it. Just make sure that you do not delete either this file or one of the tags. None of the tags should be deleted, and this file should also be present. We do not delete this file. Once that is done, all we have to do, if you unzip it, you'll get one install file. It's an executable file. So all you have to that you have to execute it /install. So it will start running your installation manager. So if I show you, uh, so suppose this is was installables. here somewhere, like I think here only I have done that, unzip that particular installation manager. So I'll check my ID. So I'll switch my ID to root. So I have made sure that everything is owned by root. So cd. So all you have to do is that you have to invoke installation manager like this. So what it will take 5-6 seconds, and it will launch that installation manager window for you. So let it get loaded. Meanwhile, I'll walk you through other things. Once this is done, then we are good to do all that was setup and all. So there will be 3 files in your was package, was folder. You have to unzip all those. How to unzip? All steps are written, and after that, how to use installation manager steps are written. So anyways, I'll be doing this in front of you also in training. Post that, when you are doing your own setup, you can have a reference from this notes, and you can do all the stuff from your side also. So this will be one of the installation method using installation manager, like directly using installation manager. We click on install and we do all the installation part. Second thing that I'll cover you during installation is like how to generate response files and how to do silent installation using those response files. So good advantage that we are having with this using higher version of installation manager, that we can use a record option, and we can still and we can generate response file ourselves. Otherwise, what's happening in past was we have to download default response files from some of the IBM sites, and then we have to edit those response files based on your usage, and then use that response file for the silent installation. So silent installation means like you are not using any UI mode from you are using a mean where you do not have a UI invoker. So you want like, okay, from command line I put some commands for installation. It runs the installation in backend, and once it's done, I can go and verify my installation process. So that's something called the silent installation, and the method that I was showing you is a UI mode installation. So like this, you see what you are doing, and it needs your manual intervention each and every time. So you have to be there on your desktop, and you have to click on all the responses that it sends you, and based on that your response, it will try to install it. So suppose you do not want to do that, you want to save your time, and you want like okay, I'll invoke a command and then I'll do something else in backend. It should run and it should install the package. So that happens using some response files. Like response files, why we say response file, it captures all the responses of yours in some file, in some markup file, let's say some XML file, and it uses that markup file as an input, and then it does installation in silent mode. So there are some commands like we'll use that once we do, I'll give more like information about that, like which command to use, what is the skip install, why we use the temp location, and what is the record option, how to put this file. And later on there is a different command called install C. Using this, all you have to do is accept license, input your response file, do installation in silent mode. These are the optional window. Like if you want to see the logs, if you want to see the progress, like we do some installation in UI mode, we see the green bar running. Okay, 85% done, 90% done, okay, 100% done, tick. Okay, installation is corrected, completed. So all that progress, if you want to see in command line also, you can put hyphen show progress. So I'll do that silent mode. One of the installation I will do, like maybe was installation. I'll do I'll record my response in one of the XML file, and then I'll do the installation using the response file in a silent mode. So that will be one practical stuff for you guys. The steps remain same for all other package installation like HDK or IHS or plugin or further updates of any fix pack. So this for the training session sake, I'll show you one shot, and remaining all things we'll do using the UI mode. Why so? Because if you do in UI mode, I'll be able to tell you on each and every page, ki, okay, now what information you have to give, what's actually happening, what mistake can we do during this step. So that is feasible only if we are doing the UI mode. We are looking on every page, and we are trying to understand what's actually happening. Because during installation only, you give lots of file path, you give all the host names and all. So there are guys who makes mistakes during the installation part also. So it's good that we do that in UI mode. And all that is done, then fix pack installation will be done, and WAS SDK uh, will be installed. After that, we'll create DMGR profile, and we'll start doing that all the stuff. So that was a basic walkthrough. So because none of the guys is having a setup ready, and I do not want to run with the installation right away. I want to make sure that everybody has the setup ready. And so today, if I do some practical, you go home and find half hour or 1 hour window where you do that setup there and there on the same day, and come back the next day either with the setup working or with some doubts or some issues, so that we are progressing with course and everybody is doing the practicals also. So that's why I'm not going to cover any major practicals today. So my agenda was just to walk through all these things. So any confusion till here?